Spark the Genius here with Chris Robinson. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
All right. And you are doing a book signing here at the Ottawa Animation Festival. And what is your book about?
It is a collection of writing from the last 10 years on different animators, films, schools. It's just sort of a compilation of my writing. I'm more on the independent side of animation, so, not your Pixar, Disney, the sort of the under the radar animators.
That's interesting. So you're an animator. So you would make little films that would go around to festivals, or where would they be?
No, I'm not an animator. I'm
no.
artistic director of the festival.
Of this festival?
Of this festival.
Oh, okay.
And the book is my writings over the years. I do a lot of writing on different animators and their work.
Oh, very cool.
So
then you're kind of the resource for all the animation.
Something like that, yeah.
Very cool. And so how long have you been working at this festival?
31 years.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well,
when it used to be back right here in this space, actually.
That's right. Somebody was telling me it was here. Gary Schwartz, I think his name was, and he was saying how nostalgic. Yeah. That's very cool. And how does this year compare to the previous years? It keeps growing?
Yeah, well, the previous years we were online for 2 years, so it's just being back in person is great.
Yeah.
Being around people.
Yeah, no, I love that too, and I find that even more than like other kinds of festivals, there's like camaraderie here. Like everybody seems really nice and to sort of know each other. It's like a big family.
Which is why I stayed in this community in the beginning, because the animators, you can meet the top level animators, and they're all very down to earth, approachable people.
Right.
You don't quite see that in live action as much.
Yeah, like a big Hollywood director or whatever. You're not going to be
egos, and animators are really easygoing. So it's a smaller community, even internationally, and there's kind of a family vibe to it. So
that's what I'm feeling. So I'm like, oh man. So I'm been looking into how could I get into animation, and even some of the recruiting talks. I realized, there's writers that work in the field, or actors, or different things, and so you don't just have to be an animator, I guess, to work in this world, do you?
No, and many of the artists I know, especially not on the industry side, but they came over to animation from other fields. They sort of stumbled into it, and so some of them can't draw either, so they find ways.
Well, there we go. So this gives me hope, because I was noticing there's all these schools here, and and I'm like, this is a world I'd never, I've always drawn, and I've done comedy and script writing, whatever, but it never occurred to me, there's an animation world, and I'm like, why didn't I go into this as a kid? But I guess if people are transferring into it, after other careers and stuff.
Yeah, and I think the technology changes, like the late 90s and whatnot, has really made it a lot more accessible. Somebody can make their own animated feature in their house, really, with the right tools. So it's pretty incredible.
Different than being Walt Disney drawing panel after panel or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, like when I started with the festival in '91, we had 700 entries or something, and festivals were every 2 years then, because it took so long to make films, and now we get 2,500 every year,
Yeah, I noticed even in the shorts screenings, they're copyright 2021 or 2022, like they're cranking these out, like referencing Trump or whatever, so it's all kind of new.
Yeah, you can, because of the technology, they can make stuff faster, react to current events.
Yeah.
Or in the old days, you couldn't, take you 5 years to make an animation film, so you can't really comment on what's going on.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And have you found that are people able to network here? Like if somebody was like me or somebody who isn't in the field but has writing skills or other interests, like are people sort of teaming up and going, hey, we could work on a movie together?
As far as I know, we certainly create enough events for that to happen.
Yeah.
At the parties, the booths, recruiting, there's pitching going on, so.
That's great. At the beginning of this, I was like, I'm just interviewing people to help spread the word, but after a couple of days, I'm like, wait a minute, I could be doing my own networking myself, even though I'm not an animator per se, so that's very cool. So, well, that's great. Thank you for putting this amazing thing on, and, it's still, I guess, a lot coming today and tomorrow kind of thing, and the big award show tonight. Are you excited for that?
Yeah. I mean, nervous. It's always, we're pretty casual, but a lot of planning for that, so, but that'll be fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you for putting on such a great thing in Ottawa.
Thanks.